the old Basilic Church and Cemetery. Burial ground, the Lynches.
This is the plot of ground that is the old homestead. Right here.
And you say that because of the aerial photos that we saw on Google Earth.
Right.
In relation to the survey maps.
That's right. That's right. I can't be 100% sure. Get yourselves out of this mess.
Look at that.
I think they really picked up on what you had to say about quantitative easing, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I got an audience. I'm getting more attention here than I do for my kids.
Yeah.
Amazing, huh? Do you take both stills and?
And that's where he lived, in Corliss. And now we think over the years, his descendants, because he died in 1876, and his son Patrick inherited this land. And he lived on it for a number of years, and then he left it to, I believe, Tom Lynch. I think that was.
That should sound
I
right.
think that
Yes,
was
yes,
the
yes,
fellow's
yes.
name.
Yes,
I have it. What?
It's 49.9.
So Wexford was really close. Okay, what's the green? The green is yes or no?
Bridget Fleming lived on. Now, when her husband died, she had this great big farm and 8 children. She was actually expecting a child when Michael passed away, and she lived on until
She lived till 1891.
1891.
And one thing that was fortunate about that is because her son died in the Civil War, there was a program at that time in the United States for widowed mothers of fallen soldiers who had no other visible means of support, etc., etc., and there were no descendants of the fallen soldier. She could get a small pension. And to get that, there had to be all these affidavits filed, and they're still available. You know, you can still find them on microfilm. And I have an eyewitness account of the burial of Michael in 1851.
And we know where the ground is. It's just right outside of Clinton. So if you ever want to come to the United States,
See Michael
you
Lynch's.
see your
final
ancestors
resting.
who immigrated from your property,
Mhm.
you go to Clinton, Iowa, and you contact
I'll
Mike.
take you there.
He'll give you all of that. We show you the farm. We'll show you where they're buried and all of that. Now, so anyway, Michael did a lot of that work for the people who came to the U.S. But there were two who didn't come to the U.S. And one was the second son, Andrew, and this Mary Lynch, who married the McManus, and who, we don't quite know why, but the father and the two sons, John and
Patrick. I think,
Patrick.
wasn't it? Mhm.
went to the States. Mary did not. Mary, we have her identified on the Griffiths valuation in 1857 in Cluny Kearney, which is down by Ballantuber.
Yes.
And we were down there yesterday, and we've
Met
been
the
on
people
that.
who live there.
The people live there, right? So, so when we were planning to come over here, that's really all we knew. We knew that Andrew stayed in Ireland, and we thought that Mary stayed in Ireland. So I contracted with genealogists, actually several of them, and they started to get into the investigations, and that's where we found out specifically the piece of property that Andrew held. Andrew and his wife Catherine, who was named Catherine Early, just down the street here on the Clunbard Road. And we found that on the Griffiths valuation map of 1857, and we could see where the roads went, this road right out here, and the other one coming across, and then we looked at Google Earth, and lo and behold, it all matched up, and we could see exactly where the property was. It's
Google it.
Google Earth.
Do you want to
Okay.
will I close that window behind
Oh,
you?
no,
No,
I'm fine.
No, it's wonderful in here.
Thank you.
So, so then we said, oh, this is wonderful. Now we can actually go to a place in Ireland. And then we started looking at Andrew's family and his offspring, and we found his death records. Both he and Catherine died in like 1876. And it was witnessed by their son, Patrick. Okay, and Patrick, now I'm going to have to start referring to notes, which I hate to do, but it gets
Does
very
any of this
complicated.
sound familiar
No,
to you from
never
what
heard
you
of
may have
Never
heard in the
heard of
family?
No.
Uh-huh.
No, we've never
Never
gone back that far, you know.
or never heard. the
Okay.
Now
name.
you say your sisters had more interest in the family
She
history.
would have, but she wouldn't have heard any of this either. She would have a better memory just of
Of people she knew that were living,
Yeah,
yes,
people
the
that-
not
around
people
it.
that lived 140
No,
years
no,
ago.
no, no.
Now, when we
Never
were,
heard name. Never heard those.
when we were talking to Anthony yesterday, he said that is your mother or some relative of yours who's quite elderly, but is that
Yeah,
your
Yeah, how
my
many?
mother, she's 91.
91? But Anthony said she is in
Yes.
marvelous.
Oh yes, absolutely. She is in a home in Castlereagh. We'll be going in there later now, if you want to.
Oh, that would be
Wonderful.
wonderful.
Yeah.
We could just now, if she's confirmed, we don't
Oh,
want to take.
there's nothing wrong up here.
Memory
100%.
perfect.
That's what
Memory
Anthony said.
perfect. Crippled, she's very, very hard to get around in that.
Mhm.
But the memory is.
She might wander a little bit, but she
So she's quit running marathons?
no more about it. Give them up.
So anyway, Patrick, who was Andrew's third son, was born in 1831, and he stayed in Ireland, and he was the informant on the death record of Andrew and Catherine. And he married Bridget Higgins, and lived on in Corliss, and we assume on your property, until February 20th, 1868. or that's when he inherited the property. He lived on here until 1901, age 70. He's in the census. And they had 4 children, Bridget, Thomas, Joseph, and William.
Yes, now,
Now we're getting
they're-
closer here.
them names now are,
The family homestead in Corliss passed from Andrew to Patrick in 1876. And when he died, it passed to his wife Bridget in 1913. And my records say that the guys, my genealogist in Dublin says it was owned outright in 1920. I assume that means that in some way, shape, it passed from the English.
The landlords, yeah.
The agricultural reform, I
It
suppose.
became freehold.
Yeah.
The
It
freehold.
became freehold in that process, and the Reverend Pakenham's family no longer owned the
No-
property.
no hold on it
He
anymore,
came
yeah.
back and went back to the Irish,
Yes, yeah.
correcting an error of 300 years.
Yes, yes, yes. And a bit with it.
Oh, and when we got Anthony talking about this, it was fun to watch. Oh, the English. They talk about that. He said, and we
He's
had
some
the
man to
famine and
talk,
they
actually.
did nothing to stop it, nothing.
He's what?
he's some man to talk.
Oh,
actually.
absolutely.
Oh my God.
We got him started and it
How
was
do you
just,
stop him?
it was wonderful. So anyway, then we know that the property at that point passed to someone. We're not quite sure, and then and I'm not quite sure what happened after that. But then you directed us, and this was wonderful, because we went right from you here yesterday to the Basilic Cemetery. And in the corner of the Basilic Cemetery, there is Lynch's.
Thomas Lynch, I think.
Thomas Lynch.
Or did Thomas place the monument for Joseph Lynch?
That should be my father. It's a black headstone.
Black, and when you walk in the cemetery, it's kind of the corner
Diagonal.
Yes.
Yeah,
on the left
Yeah,
corner.
that should be
That would be
my father
your father.
and
Grandfather.
grandfather.
Thomas was your grandfather?
Yes.
Your father
Or
was Joseph?
Wasn't Joseph? Would have been my.
Thomas.
I never knew him.
Uh-huh.
I never met him. He was dead before we were born.
But that, and his name was Thomas?
No, Joseph. I think.
Joseph.
Joseph, yes.
Joseph would have been Patrick's son.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick's son.
Except I thought the monument was for Joseph and placed there by Thomas. But of course, I should,
Well, Tom
Well, that
Lynch
makes
would have
sense.
beside it then.
of course,
That makes
I've got
sense.
so many, I
Thomas
could
was
find
your
it on my
dad.
camera, but I only have something like 2,500 pictures there, so it takes a while to.
So,
But Tom Lynch his headstone.
Thomas Lynch is beside it in
It's
an old
beside it.
stone.
It should be an older.
Stone.
And
older
I
headstone.
probably couldn't read it.
Yeah, that would be it. But it's quite clear our
And
one,
we
it's
were-
a black.
My companions here were anxious to leave, so I didn't linger too long.
well, no, it's nothing. We can trudge out there again if you need more time. So, this is just wonderful.
Yeah, I
for
heard
us.
several messages come in. Was
Yeah.
that from your sister?
You're one of them, and one from Australia.
Oh, my
we have a
goodness.
son in Australia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Sydney.
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 Well, Sue and I lived in Australia for
Oh, did
4
you?
years,
Oh,
many,
right.
many years ago, but we spent some time there.
have you been to visiting?
Not yet, no, it's on the to-do list.
Well, you can go from Ireland to the U.S. and spend some time in the U.S.
Well, actually, we've been just thinking about that now. That may well happen.
Well, if you want to have a real tour of Pittsburgh,
You
they
can
can
come to
accommodate
Pittsburgh
you. And
and
if
we-
you'd like to
you
see
can
the
go to
Lynch property in Iowa,
You know,
Yeah,
I can do it for you.
yeah.
it may happen.
Yeah, Lena is she's waiting on the car to come back. They're going to check in Catherine, and she'll be over there.
Mm.
So,
Nice.
um,
Well,
yeah.
what can you tell us about your family? That would be interesting for us to know.
Well, I didn't know my grandfather. I would have heard very little about him.
And his
Joseph
name
Lynch.
was
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yes, and he was married. He was married twice. His first wife died. No, I don't know. Lena would know who his first wife was.
So you're not descended from his first wife. You're descended from his second wife.
No, his
First wife. Yeah.
Oh.
Because they had two kids, my father and Mary Vesey.
Uh-huh.
And then he married again. And I think he married,
It was Key in the next one, wasn't it?
was Kane the first one or the second? McDermott. Lena now know this.
Certainly there is an ample supply of McDermotts around here,
Yes.
from what I can tell.
And they had
Yes, yeah.
four. They had Maggie and Bridie Lynch then, and Joey and Michael. Michael is still alive in England. The rest of them are dead.
Bridie is a name that I frankly haven't seen before, but I've been out photographing tombstones all over the place, and there are a number of women named Bridie.
Yeah. They all went to England and they're all married. They were all married in England. They died and they were
So
buried in
how many were there in your family?
3 girls.
3 girls,
Yes,
all girls.
All girls.
And you are the oldest,
Eldest, yes.
and then you have a younger sister,
Well, Lena then, the girl that's coming, she's the middle one, and Patricia then.
Lena and Patricia.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I have a picture of my father here.
And that other man, he should be interesting to you as well.
Yes, but he should be interested.
Now, and so
Now,
his,
which is your father? This would be your father. And,
Okay.
and this is
Pat
That's
Lynch.
Pat Lynch, your first cousin.
Pat Lynch.
okay, let's
He
make
was.
it.
He lived in England. Now Lena has more pictures. She's bringing more pictures.
Try and reduce the glare here.
So he lived in England his whole life.
Yes.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
probably born in
He
England.
was born in England. Now we didn't know anything about him. I was nearly 20 when he appeared from England. Just out of the blue, they arrived home on a holiday.
He just said, hello.
Yeah, hello, yes. He was a teacher in England. His wife was a teacher in England.
He was an ex-army man as well.
Yes, he was in the army as well. And he kept in regular contact. He would come a few times a year then after that. They were retired. And that was the first.
And
He used
passed
to,
away, yeah.
but I think when my father was younger and when Pat Lynch was younger, he used to come over and have
Oh, he used to come over and, I'd say,
when he was in the army.
in the army, I'd say back in the
So,
early 50s.
so this is your father?
This my father, but this man that we
Yes.
only seen when I was 20 when he came on
And
holiday.
what's his relation?
He would be first cousin. They were
First cousin.
first cousins.
And what was his name?
He was Pat as well.
There's Pat Lynch as well.
Pat Lynch and Pat Lynch.
2 Pat Lynches.
Oh, that must
Two
have.
Pat
Pat
Lynches.
Lynches.
And,
And they would be a first cousin to Tom Lynch as well, down the road. You know Tom?
Yeah, the first house he looked at.
The first house he looked at.
Mm-hmm.
now I'm a little bit confused. So your father was from England?
No.
No, that was the cousin
your
that left.
cousin, his cousin was
Was
from
from
England.
England, yeah.
So,
He immigrated from Ireland to England?
Well,
or-
his
His
father
would have.
obviously had immigrated. And he was born in England, this man.
She was obviously a brother of.
do you know
Pat Lynch.
his father's name?
No.
So your father is Joseph, and
My
your
father
grandfather's
was
Pat.
Pat.
Her
His
grandfather-
father was Joe.
grandfather is Joseph. Do you know Joseph's father? No.
Well, we believe Joseph's father was Patrick.
Yeah, but it would be reassuring if you already knew that.
No, we don't know
We don't
that.
Yeah.
know that.
Don't know.
Mhm.
We
Sure.
never heard anything. We never asked, but the doctors never talked about
We
it.
did look back in the online census there.
Yes, the 1904.
You know, we went back to around 1900s, you know. But it's a while ago now, and I actually forget what we learned off it. There wasn't great records. It was.
But you can bring it up there on the laptop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you look at that census,
census.
the 1901?
Somebody must have
Well-
looked at that.
McDermott did, didn't he?
We know that Andrew's son was in the 1901 census at age 70 years old. And we know that they had 4 children, Bridget, Thomas, Joseph, and William.
Yes, well, I think William actually would have been that
He'd
man's
have been English Pat's father.
father.
Mm-hmm.
We should call him English Pat.
How
Yeah.
do you know that?
It's just,
Just guess.
Rings a bell.
not a guess, no, but as you said it, William, I think.
So Joseph would have been in 1901. He would have been maybe 40 or 50 years old, something like that. Maybe 40 years old.
So born in about
So-
1860, 1861. Huh?
So what I'm thinking is that Joseph, one of Joseph's children, was Patrick, your father. No,
Mm,
I don't know.
oh, you'd have to.
Well,
you'd have to go
before
all out.
you mentioned there the Bridget and the three, the William,
Mm-hmm.
William.
Bridget, Thomas, Joseph, and William.
Yeah,
Were
Bridget.
the-
Well, then we never heard of I never heard of Bridget. She would have been my.
Would that be Tom's sister, Tom Regis? Bridget, wouldn't it?
No, but you see, this would be Tom's father.
Or, we would have heard about them, really.
We would no.
We know nothing about them.
How many thousand do you have to go through?
Quite a few. But, you know, it's a fixed number, so every time I click, it's one less that I have to look at. You know? I'm still going through today's pictures. But I think yesterday, that was relatively late in the day, right? So if I get through today's pictures, I'll be able to show you the marker that we...
No, a lot of what you want to know there, if you could find the records from the Catholic Church, the birth certs, a lot of that would be on that. Whatever they're held now.
Yeah, but that 1901 census would show.
Sure, we'll bring it up there.
Yeah. Just,
Just excuse me now. I'm just going in here for something.
Sorry.
There you go. We'll bring it up there. And now get the plug it in.
Okay, so Mary, your father was
Patrick,
Patrick Lynch. And your mother was
Mary Kate Flanagan.
Mary
Kate
Kate?
Kate. K-I-T-E.
Kate, Mary Kate.
Mary Catherine, basically, right?
Mary Kate.
Mary Kate, that's all I ever heard her being called.
Mary Kate Flanagan.
Flanagan, yeah.
We just stopped earlier this morning in Castle Plunkett.
Yes.
That seems to be owned
Oh,
by
Flanagan's.
Flanagan,
all
yes,
kinds of
everything. Flanagan Village.
A different Flanagan's though.
Really?
Different Flanagans.
Yeah.
I was telling Mrs. Flanagan that we saw there, my brother lives in Los Angeles. He has a daughter who married a guy from Tuam named Dermot
Dermody.
Ryan.
Oh, Dermody, all right.
And Derm's best buddy is Michael Flanagan. who-
Now, so Patrick's mother and dad, who you never met and didn't know.
They were all dead. When my father got married, his mother and father, well, his mother was dead a long time, but his stepmother and father were dead as well. That was in
And his father's name was Joseph.
Joseph. And he would have, my father got married in 1956, I think. 56, yeah.
And Joseph, he had two wives.
Yes.
He was married twice. Do you know their
Married twice.
names?
No.
Here's in loving memory of Joseph Lynch, Corliss, died, is it March 12th, 1934, and his wife Ellen died November 20-something, 1923. Their son Patrick died December 22nd, 1998.
Yeah.
Yes, the headstone, yeah.
That's the
it.
marker.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's my
That's the one, yeah.
father's
That's our father, yeah.
and grandfather.
1998.
Looks like it. I'd
Yeah.
need to put it on the computer
Yeah,
so I could see it
1998.
larger, but that's what it looks like here.
Okay, so give me that about Ellen.
Well, Joseph Lynch and his wife was Ellen.
And when did Ellen die?
It looks like 1923, November 21st, 1923. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Joseph died May 12th, 1954.
No, that's really
His wife Ellen died November 21st, 1923, and their son Patrick died December 22nd, 1998. And then it says erected by their son Pat. So Pat
Okay.
put up the
Yeah.
marker first for the parents.
So it would appear that there's one generation in there between Patrick and Joseph that we're maybe missing.
Well, Patrick was identified as the son of Joseph and Ellen.
Right. But Joseph, you're saying, died in
54. And his wife died
In 1923.
30 years earlier, basically, 31 years earlier.
So where his second wife wasn't buried with them then?
No.
But
Only
we
so-
were on
only
about
so
that
hard.
before. We were on about that before. Where did his second wife? Where was she buried? Don't know.
Well, I've been trying to photograph as many tombstones as I can, and when I get home,
We
Unless
couldn't
mother-
find it.
Unless
Mother might know, yeah.
might know. But I think we were asking her before, and I don't know. She didn't throw any light on it.
so the cemetery at Baselick is still an active cemetery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's such an old church, the ruins
Oh,
of it.
so St. Patrick was supposed to have been
Goes
there.
back to
Really?
pre-Christian times.
Uh-huh.
Pre-Christian times, yeah.
The church needs a little maintenance.
The graveyard needs maintenance, behind the church.
And Mary, your sister's, your next younger sister's Leanne, did you say?
No, Helen.
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 Yeah,
we call
Lena.
her Lena.
Oh.
Yeah.
Helen and Lynn
And Patricia.
and Patricia. And you, the farm property is, came to you from Patrick,
Yeah.
and presumably came to Patrick from Joseph.
Yeah,
Right. So now, I have a Joseph born in 1882.
Well, that'd be about the grandfather generation.
That-
yeah, she,
That would be very close to the
Yeah.
Joseph who died in 1954.
Because our grandfather, Albert Lynch, was born in 1886 or 8. So,
right.
and his father, by the way, was Andrew.
And he came from
No, Andrew's father, Michael, came from here.
in what year? That would be
1840.
1840.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been, you know, when I think of my great great grandfather, I can remember.
Yeah. No, it's up. You know, Charlie's Hotel.
Yep.
It's just kind of as you're heading up the town. It's
Okay.
next there to it. There's a square there, and then
Yesterday
Side
with
Maze.
the
Maze.
Yes, Side
That's the
Maze.
name of the pharmacy.
Hayes's.
Hayes's Pharmacy.
Yeah.
Yesterday with the beautiful weather we had,
Yes,
we walked up through to the ATM, but we walked across from the market and into the parkland that is
Oh, yes.
Drain, yeah.
Sanford's.
That's right.
Yeah, well, down
What a
there.
beautiful
It's lovely.
space that
Yeah,
is.
it's lovely down there.
That
now.
is, yeah.
Really nice.
Fortunate to have a park like that.
Yes,
And a
very
day
nice.
like yesterday,
Oh,
like,
it's
it's
beautiful
lovely.
weather, isn't it? Beautiful.
Now, do you have a family, or do you
I
have
have,
children?
I
You-
have two.
You have two? Are they
Two.
still at home?
No,
or-
no, one in Australia and one married in Galway. And I have two grandchildren,
Mhm.
two little girls.
And how about you, Lena?
I've got three. I have a boy in Galway and a boy at home and a girl in Sligo.
A girl in where?
In Sligo.
Sligo.
Sligo,
Sligo.
yeah. Working in Sligo.
Well, we have 4 children, all grown.
All grown.
3 of them live in Pittsburgh, in neighboring facilities.
Oh, very nice.
One of them lives in Kentucky. We have 8 children. Each of our
8
children.
grandchildren.
No,
8 grandchildren. Each of our children have both a boy and a girl.
Oh, nice.
The oldest is 13, and the youngest was born in June.
Oh, in June.
Matter of fact, you get your.
Yeah. Even though you haven't asked, she'll show you a picture of the new.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, pictures of the baby.
Oh, we got a picture of the baby.
Uh-huh.
It's precious. So
She'll-
we are very blessed.
Oh, yes.
And one of the purposes, and what you're talking to us today, is I intend to write this all down. I've already got some of
You've
it.
done a
but
lot
I'm-
of work, I tell you.
Well,
Already.
a lot of it
A lot
Mike
of
did.
it.
And a lot of it, we contracted with some genealogists in this country, including one that you might know, this Mary Skelly over in Strokestown, who is at the Heritage Center over there.
Strokestown House, is she
Yeah.
Strokestown House?
Yeah,
I don't know her, but I
you don't know her.
Yeah.
But Rita knows her.
Oh,
The
right.
gal Rita Morgan
Yeah.
at the Arm Catcher where we're
Oh,
staying.
yes.
Anyway, they've helped us a lot, but one of our overriding goals here was to try to identify more of our lineage in Ireland for our kids and our grandchildren and their children
Very
and
nice to
whatever.
have, isn't it, to have
And
some?
because it's, like, we spent an
Oh,
hour,
Beautiful angel.
yeah,
Oh.
isn't she
Oh,
something?
she's gorgeous. Beautiful.
She was probably 2.5 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's lovely. She's gorgeous.
Oh, she's good, yeah, it's cute.
And her name, she's named after my mother. Her name is Mallory.
Mallory.
And,
Very nice.
Oh, lovely,
Isn't she? Like an angel.
What's
isn't
her
she?
name?
Her name is Mallory.
Mallory Jane.
That was
Mallory Jane.
that was Steve's mother's maiden name.
That was my mother's maiden name, and my mother was, that's an English name. But she is also a Bean, which is Irish
Irish,
ancestry,
yeah.
but we have no idea
No, we
of
don't know.
anything
That's
about that.
beautiful.
Yeah, isn't she gorgeous?
But one thing we can say about the Mallory side of the family is I traced his mother's lineage back to Charlemagne,
Oh, right.
which
Yeah.
would be, and then of course Charlemagne's ancestry is known, so we can trace his mother back to about the 5th century.
It's a long way back, isn't it? Yeah. Great.
So we got some catching up to do on the Irish side for
Yeah.
Steve's
Yeah.
family.
Lena, you've been
Busy.
I just got my album.
shown by your sister to be the expert in
No, we're
the
no expert now.
Lynch genealogy.
them.
I think there was a picture somewhere, I think it's Pat Lynch's father, and you would look like him.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like
Really?
even like Tom. Tom and
Tom Lang,
yeah,
no.
a bit.
Yeah, I just with Tom yesterday.
Well, in that case,
Yeah, and I
it's.
have Tom here.
We have
we
nothing
don't-
further
we
to
don't have
prove.
go any further.
That's funny.
Some of them are old now. That was my wedding album. That's 31 years ago now. Tom is here.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea actually, you'd have
I
them
just
all
brought the
there.
album, yeah. That's our dad there. But that's mother. But they're her. That was mother's cousin, was it? What was that?
she?
one? Was it that Julia one? Remember there was one from
Oh
married.
yeah.
And
So,
our
Good
aunt.
looking man.
Yeah, that was our dad.
Good looking man.
Yeah.
Now, this is,
This is our dad.
Your
Pat
dad,
Lynch. Yeah, Pat,
Pat.
Lynch. Yeah.
Mhm.
This is our mom, Mary. That was her cousin.
that's your
Our
mom,
mother, yes.
Mary Kate.
Yeah, she's in the nursing home now.
She's in the nursing
Yeah.
home.
they're
That's
both twin
her
sister
sister.
as well.
That's her sister. She's dead now. And her daughter, Helen, as well.
Did you get that, Mike?
I sure did, yeah. In fact,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were.
So,
Dad and her, they were brother and
Sorry,
sister, the first
yeah.
family.
And
Okay.
Actually,
Is
I
he in that
found the
picture?
clip-
Friday, this is her sister, stepsister.
now,
This
is
is-
he in this picture? Is Pat in this picture?
No, he's not in that
But
picture.
that's Pat's sister,
Pat's true sister, yeah. This is stepsister. Friday.
stepsister and sister. And
Sister, yeah.
these,
This woman she would be a first cousin, wouldn't
This
she?
is
Mary.
the Pat Lynch.
Yeah,
this man
that's Mary
here.
Littlemore. She's
That's
a-
his sister.
I
yeah,
see.
The English,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right.
English man.
And this woman, she was McDermott. She lived down the road. Pat McDermott's sister and her husband.
Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but,
Lynch is down there then, I wonder.
and,
That woman,
and,
that's Dad's stepsister, Friday.
yeah,
That was Friday. That was a neighbour that lived down the road
Right.
really Raftery. Now, there's Tom Lynch.
that is Tom Lynch.
That is Tom
Okay,
Lynch.
can we get a,
Tom
Yeah.
Lynch is your
Dad's first cousin. The house. That our home house, our father's as well. And his mother, she was Christina Watt.
But Mrs. Dodd was from
Yeah,
America.
yeah, it
that's-
was her sister. That'd be Mrs. Dodd's nephew.
he doesn't look at all Irish.
He's Irish. He is.
Look at that fellow.
Yeah.
he does look very
I
Irish.
mean,
Yeah.
he looks like he looks like my sister's children.
Yeah, it was probably related to
Yes.
the line somewhere.
But how was Mrs. Dodd related to?
First cousin, wasn't it, of our father?
And what
Was it?
Mrs. Dodd's?
Was Michael Levin's aunt.
Yeah, but how was it? Her mother and my grandfather. How are they related? the first cousins?
Yeah, I think the women, yeah.
Was it?
Mrs. Jordan,
Oh.
yeah.
See, I've been no good now.
We have to go to Treen.
Yeah,
But
we were
Patricia
Galway.
lives
We
there.
haven't been there yet.
Yeah,
Patricia
they're-
lives in
they're
Treen.
sisters.
Patricia lives in
Yes,
Treen.
she lives in Treen.
they're all just waiting
You
for
can
us.
call
No
see
one
her
else.
when you're in Treen.
Mm-hmm.
There's Tom Lynch again singing a song.
Oh, he had a voice.
Yeah, he was a good singer, wasn't he?
oh,
He was
yeah.
alright for a singer.
The real old
Yeah,
songs
yeah.
he'd sing.
It's him there now.
He
Well,
loved the part.
there's a little bit of that in the line too.
Oh, is there?
Is there, yeah?
Right,
Yeah, very
yeah.
good, very good.
That's Pat
Especially-
McDermott now again and
especially when
First
combined with
cousin.
some Guinness,
Oh,
right?
it helps.
Yeah,
Tends to bring it out.
yeah.
Well, Martin would fit in well there too.
Oh, yeah. Never heard Martin singing a
Just
song.
for the Guinness. Anyway.
No, they're the three. Friday, they were first cousins, these two. These are stepsisters and Dad's sister, you've seen.
You've all the good ones anyway, Lena.
Yeah, it was Pat Lynch that done this
Yeah.
and gave me this.
Oh yeah, that's
The
right,
wedding
yeah.
album, so he has all. They were just our neighbours. That Andy Matthews lived down the road. Tommy Kelly, he's still alive.
Who?
Tommy Kelly.
Tommy
lives
Kelly.
down the road. Yeah.
There are a bunch of Kellys in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a few families.
Now, see, when I was down in Dublin, talking with John like you've really kept up with your.
Yeah, they just
Relations.
said Pat, this man here, gave me that album when we
He
got
was big
married.
into photography.
Yeah, he
and
made that album
videos
for
and
me.
all that.
He has
That's the only
videos
reason I
and
have it.
Pictures of on the
He has, yeah, and there's some more pictures somewhere.
There is.
Older
Well,
one.
mother were- They're my
McDermott.
two grandchildren.
Oh,
That's lovely.
Oh, they adorable.
It's a pity you weren't here last weekend. We had them. They were on holidays for the weekend with us.
oh, they're beautiful.
That-
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
lovely girls.
There's 1-4 this day
What are
week.
their names?
Evie and Emma.
They are
They are
sweet.
such-
Yeah, they're lovely girls.
What a blessing they are.
Yeah, lovely
They
girls.
give Nana and Granddad a run for their money, I
I
tell
bet
you.
they do.
No, they're the ones in
In Galway.
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 So that's not too far.
No,
Oh, no,
no, it's grand. And David then isn't married. His girlfriend is from Donegal.
That nice, Mark.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, probably we like
July
to.
for 3 weeks.
Scarecrows.
It's good to have them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to have them.
He's an
Yeah.
engineer and she's a nurse. And they're happy out. It's another few years anyway. But they will come. They would like to come.
A headstone.
Is this where the church that
There's Thomas
our
Lynch.
ancestors would have attended?
Yeah.
You know, it depends on how far back you're going now.
What's the date on that?
The church of Kilmurray, even the old church, may not be as
How
old as
far is Kilmurray, that church, from where we are right here?
oh, mile and a half.
And
Wow.
more,
Mike,
more
here's a
than
headstone for you.
Oh.
Give or take a bit.
He's seen a he's seen a headstone.
That's up in Baslick, I'd say now.
Tell me that now.
Or is
Well,
that-
they'd be held in Kilmurray.
Yeah.
This would be the records that would most likely be the Lynch family records.
Should be found in Kilmurray Parish.
Mary,
Church.
Mary, Alice and Mary.
Yes.
Yeah, Alice and Mary. That was Pat. They were his sisters.
But Lena, I remember we had a picture at home.
My husband.
We are
never met
related
him.
to your husband. I never met Mary. I never met Lena
Until now.
till today.
I'm Steve's wife, Sue.
How are you?
Nice to
Pleased
meet
to
you. Nice to meet you.
So, and this is my cousin, Mike.
Not a lady.
Mike, no, he's
Well,
not a Lynch. Well, he is a Lynch,
Yeah.
but
On my mother's side of the
on the
family.
mother's side of the family.
Yeah.
Okay, now I will explain to you how we are related to Mary.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Okay? And honey, I'm gonna give you, you can handle that.
yeah.
Bad manners here taking you.
My father was named
I'm gonna take
Edward
you then.
Lynch.
You can take me all you want.
Good.
He came
Good
from
ones of you, actually.
Clinton,
You're
Iowa.
very
That's it.
photogenic.
His youngest sister was
Was
Evelyn Lynch.
Where
Evelyn
is she?
is
She's
Mike's
not
down
around.
last
mother.
She's not down
Well,
last
they
night.
was called and
Oh,
They used to call Ellen. Well, here they called
No,
Evelyn
I know.
Ellen. Oh,
No.
Who was Ellen then? Was Ellen our grandmother? Ellen McDermott, was it? Was she McDermott? Our grandmother. Was she Kane or was she
Father's
McDermott?
mother was Ellen who?
Kane, was
Kane,
it?
was
she
it?
was Kean, yeah.
Ellen
Ellen
Kane.
Kane, yeah. Yeah.
And then the second wife was McDermott, was it?
I mixed
Yes.
up now, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
McDermott.
Yeah, well-
Max.
Take your time,
Um,
Mary.
Max.
Yeah,
Take your time.
and,
At any rate, my and Mike's great-great-grandfather was a fellow by the name of Michael Lynch.
Yeah,
Michael Lynch was born on your farm
Let's go back in the
in
1800s.
in
Oh, we'll get away when you have to come
1810.
on this side, I think, of the light.
on the light.
Or maybe we just.
And in 1840, you with me? In 1840, Michael immigrated to the United States,
Yeah,
1840s.
In
So many
1840.
years ago.
I know.
to the middle of the country, a place called Iowa. Now, Michael had a brother. His name was Andrew Lynch. Andrew Lynch stayed in Ireland on your farm. Okay?
yeah.
He was married to a lady by the name of Catherine Early. Early.
Oh, Ellen.
Early.
Somebody has to translate this into Irish. Okay. And Andrew had a son. He had a number of offspring, but he had a son, Patrick.
Well, that's
Patrick Lynch.
Yeah.
Now, Patrick Lynch married a gal by the name of Bridget Higgins.
That could be Higgins is down in Tully.
This is from Bendigare.
Yeah, but you, that's too early for
Yeah,
you,
she
you wouldn't
wouldn't-
remember
no.
any of that.
Okay?
That's before her
That's
time.
before
Wasn't
your
it the
time.
Higgins, what's the Higgins that used to come up to pass up to funerals and
Yeah, the Higgins is from
he
Tully.
wasn't Higgins, was he Kean? Or was he Higgins?
Now,
He lived down in
Doesn't-
Bendigare.
doesn't matter
Doesn't matter,
anyway,
that's
yeah.
a long way
Okay.
off.
Yeah.
so Patrick Lynch passed away right around 1910. He
Yeah.
had 4 children. Tell me who they were. Anyway, one of them was Joseph and one of them was Thomas.
Mention names.
So what we need to find out from you, okay, is your husband. Your husband was named Patrick.
That's right,
His father was named Joseph,
that's right.
right? Now, do you know Joseph's father's name?
Joseph.
You know, well, you wouldn't have known, you didn't even know Joseph, so he
No,
was
he was
dead.
gone
I
before
didn't
you
know
came.
I
He was
wasn't,
dead before you
Yeah.
were married,
yeah,
father.
that's right.
Yeah, so.
Not so very long,
No,
no, we
before,
were married.
54 he died, I think, was it?
Well, what we believe was that Patrick's father, Joseph,
Yeah,
was the son of the Patrick that we're talking about. Now, we can't be completely sure of that, but what we can be sure of is that the farm that you were raised, that Lena
That's right,
and Mary, was the farm that my great-great-grandfather's brother
Well, isn't it one of the small world?
Yeah.
So that means
Yeah.
that
Wonderful, yeah.
Lena and Mary and your other daughter Patricia are fourth cousins of Michael and Steve.
No.
Yeah. They're
So that, I wasn't joking when I said long lost
I am
cousin.
waiting for
What'd she say when you come in?
To tell her have the money.
And we are so delighted to have a chance to talk to you today.
Well, I'm only what?
Huh?
I'm only 91.
I am only 91.
Only 91.
Well, God bless you, my
I'm
dear.
thinking like 20.
Oh, yeah.
I
Think
want to
about
tell you,
21.
I want to tell you, you have some beautiful daughters.
Well, I'm down the
And
very, very
they have
good.
been so hospitable
Oh, yeah.
to Michael and I and Susan.
Yeah.
And now this, tomorrow we're going to
Tricia works
have a
tomorrow.
chance to meet Martin. And he's
Oh,
going to
so
take us
different. I
out to
don't
the
know,
old,
Be nice for her to meet you.
the old
So we're
homestead,
going to 3.
Oh, yeah.
out in the middle of the field.
Well, you know the old house. They're going down to see
Oh,
the
down,
old
down,
house.
oh, well.
Well, there's nothing left. Very
Be
little of it
ruined,
left.
but
Down the
Yeah.
whole list, there is.
Yeah.
The what? The bull?
The
I
bull,
thought
yeah.
I hope the bullet is
Steve, the bull might find you attractive.
He might. He might too.
He might be attracted to it.
Yeah.
But you know, we had a chance, we've been in Castlereagh for a few days now. And we had a chance to have a long visit with Anthony Toohey.
Yeah.
And Anthony Toohey says, you have to go see Mary Kate Lynch.
Yeah. Why?
You know Anthony Towie?
You
Towie.
know Anthony?
Well, you know the shop, the second-hand shop, he used to sell clothes, Towie.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't know one to just to meet on the street and say hello.
Well, he knew of you, and he said
Yeah.
we needed to come and talk to you if we could.
Yeah.
So that's the missing link now
Well,
with
what
his
about
father, granddad's.
The priest in Kilmurray.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no priest here now.
But the
The
record
priest of
was
the
there.
day.
That's
The
right.
priest in where?
In Kilmurray. That's where we was going.
In Kilmurray.
That's what Martin was saying. he should
We
check
went out to
that.
Kilmurray
That's how you
Church
find
this
out.
morning,
It's no
Yeah.
place now.
just to see where you
Yeah.
would have been going to
Church,
church,
yeah, that's where.
and where our ancestors
That's
went to
right.
church.
Yeah.
Well, I can see Pat Lynch, English
That's
Pat
right.
Lynch.
But,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When is your
Your
birthday?
other cousin Pat Lynch, English.
You say
Pat,
you're
you come back
91.
there now
I
you're
look like
talking,
him,
yeah.
What was your birthday?
The 31st of March.
In what year? 1922?
Steve's birthday. And he,
The 31st of March.
yeah,
31st of March, 1922.
Well, this is
also.
really getting weird.
yeah.
You know what my birthday is?
31st of March.
You know what my birthday is?
I don't want to tell
It's
you.
the 31st of March.
So you can see each other's birthday cards.
Now you'll remember.
Oh, that's a good one.
The 31st of March.
Well, I had a friend, a neighbour of my
Yeah.
own at home. She was Connor. She lived near me at home up. I was
In
standing
Tree.
up in
Yeah.
Tree.
Yeah.
And she came to see me the other day and I hadn't a clue who she was.
She was home from America, so.
It was.
And she was from Ohio
Yeah.
in America.
Well, we are from Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Okay, we
It's
live
not
in
far from
Pittsburgh,
Ohio.
which isn't very far from Ohio. Okay?
yeah.
And so I just want to make sure that you know, if you ever want to come visit America,
Well, I'm sure,
that you're welcome to come to Pittsburgh.
Yes, next year.
I'm afraid I'd never go or I would never come back. You put me in a box.
That's all.
Oh, well, we'll have a laugh anyway.
How long would a flight be to?
Huh?
How long
Don't
is the
say anything
flight?
about a flight because
It took us,
I want.
It took us
It's
6
only
hours.
6 hours.
We went from Pittsburgh to Boston, and we flew from Boston to Dublin, and that flight is about 6 hours. It's gonna be a little bit longer going back,
All right. That's-
but,
They're flying Aer Lingus.
yeah, we're flying, we came over on Aer
See what
Lingus.
your name is.
Yeah.
Found them all right, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very
They're
nice,
okay. It's Ryanair is the.
All right, well, I saw
Yeah.
this morning on the news, they were talking about Ryanair, they were interviewing, I think, the chairman, because people have accused Ryanair
But
of
they're
going
all
out of their way
changes down
to
in-
alienate their passengers.
Yes.
We're all
Yeah.
changing
Oh,
down in Collis
absolutely.
now where I lived. Where I went to, when I was, that's how I was married into. Or Mayor will tell you all that tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, where did you come from originally?
I'm from Craigon, Treen. I'm in the Castlereagh parish,
In Treen.
yeah.
Okay, and that's a few miles away. That's
What's
the
that?
other side of Castlereagh.
Yeah, about 3 miles out.
About 3
out.
miles
Mhm.
up the Wilmstown Road.
And Patricia, I was saying that to you, Patricia lives in Treen.
Lives in
Patricia
Treen.
went back to Treen
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
So how did you and your husband meet?
Well, I went to a dance in Castlereagh and I met him and I don't know what happened after that.
The rest is history, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, we did the
He
same.
wasn't seen for a couple of months after.
We met at a dance as well. So. Very
Was that right?
Yeah.
And how long were you married,
Till her husband died.
Patrick?
I don't know.
Father's dead, what, 11, 12 years?
12, 13.
When were you married?
We're married on the 29th of June, but don't ask me for a year, I don't know.
56.
Hmm?
56. wasn't
or
it?
96, 56.
56 it was, huh?
56 to
Yeah.
about what did he die?
In
89.
89.
99.
99,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, that's easy. 56 to 99, that would be 43 years, right?
Yeah.
That should be it.
Yeah.
I'm old. Just throw me in a box somewhere.
And how long have you lived here?
Um,
How long have you lived?
oh, I'm how many
6
years?
years.
6.
Much before 5.
6.
6 years.
Six.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely home. And,
It is an ugly
It
home.
is, it's
and
very
I
nice.
I'm going to ask for anything you want.
She
Yeah.
has her own room and her own telly, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And her next door neighbour then, they're very friendly, herself and Bridie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have bingo.
They're
And
big.
she's
Do they?
Music.
she's from Lissacullin.
Well, they can fight and
mine.
they're
Oh, yeah.
friends.
Oh, well, sure.
Fall out as
The
well.
best you
Fall
can is
in
on a
and
fight
fall
now, yeah.
Yes, yes. Now tell me, what were your husband's interests? What did he
Well,
what
he
did
was
he enjoy doing?
farming up and down the fields all his life. He used to cut turf and,
He used to cut turf
yeah,
With the sleighing.
in the field.
And Corliss.
Well,
they had a,
Well, even at the end, I suppose, in Corliss
Yeah,
Bog, if you
the land,
continued
yeah.
on down the land you're going on tomorrow, if you went on further,
You
it's
find
all
the bog.
bog there.
Mhm.
So he would have cut
Yeah.
the turf with the sleighing there.
Mhm.
And then after that, they would have changed bogs and went into Clooncheever.
Now,
Which
did
would
you
be-
did you cut turf?
We would have helped rear it. We didn't
Yeah,
cut
we didn't like it, but
So you would turn it up?
do you
Yeah,
know what he used
yeah.
to do?
I
Make
hated it every
I'd make the
minute of it.
sandwiches and I'd sit.
You hated it.
down
Hated it, and still do.
it's awful job.
We still
You
hate
would
turf.
make the
I
sandwiches?
hate the turf.
Yeah, and
Lena
send
now
them
would be
into the
different.
bog.
Lena would
The
like
bed.
the bog.
Oh, I do not
And
like
they
it.
could have
I like the deer
sandwiches
score when I was
too.
younger.
I want to go home now to
I'm going to do
Manny.
it now.
And not the cake across
Being
the
a
bog.
mom, I throw it out. I don't want that.
And we're home to me again in
I
5
don't like
minutes.
it either. That's too bad on your back. It's too
Oh,
hard.
but they're good girls now, they were,
Yeah.
you saved the hay with them and,
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
used
what
to
I'm
keep
thinking.
cattle
That
and-
album with the cocks of hay and things.
Oh, yeah.
You're in that
turkeys
album,
and
I think, as well.
hens and everything like that, not there, and you had to work.
Well, he loved cattle as
Oh.
well.
Yeah.
He loved cattle.
Oh, yeah, she used to go to all the fairs
He
and the markets.
loved cattle and going to the fairs.
Oh, he
and
did,
the
he loved
marts
going
and-
to the market.
He was a good judge of an animal, and he worked for this other man. He would buy cattle for him and sell them.
Now,
and
when
all
you
that.
say go to the market, is that the market in Castlereagh?
Yeah,
Yeah, which is a
Right
fair at that
across-
time.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't have been there.
And not that one.
No, it
Yeah,
would have
yeah,
been a
there were
fair.
fairs then that time,
Fair green, no, they used to have
the
the
fair
cattle.
green,
Mm-hmm.
They were just-
and then they built
They
the,
walked the cattle at that time. you know.
yeah,
where the fair green was.
Where would that have been?
Where the mart is,
Yeah.
the mart was built on the Fair Green,
Oh, I see.
and that's called the Fair Green. The
Yeah,
square that's
straight.
there is still called the Fair Green.
Okay.
Though the mart was built on it, but before that, they just all come in,
Yeah.
cattle walk them
Walk
in
them
there
in,
and
yes.
buy and sell them.
Mary was in the office, how many years were you there?
I worked in the mart office for 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got married and stayed at home, reared the two, and went back to work then.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it.
And she ran away then and got married and,
I didn't run away.
No, she stayed around.
I
Right.
stayed around. I got married in
Yeah.
Kilmorey. Sounded like I went to Gretna Green or something.
No, she didn't run anywhere.
but they got nice partners anyway and I was glad about that.
And
Yeah.
Lena was 30.
They did.
Two
Martin is a very
31.
nice fellow.
32 years.
Or 32, yeah.
32 years married on the 1st of October.
Oh, you'll have so fun when you meet the boys though.
Yeah.
Good record.
See, we are we just celebrated our 50th
Oh, very nice.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
in August.
Very nice.
And
August
one of the reasons
17th.
we're here is to celebrate our
Oh,
50th.
Oh, lovely. That's
Lovely.
nice.
Well, and Mary told me there was visitors from
Long
America
lost.
this evening. I didn't know I had anyone in America.
Neither do we.
Yeah, that's what we thought when Kate Lynch died. Remember, I said there was no one in it. I
Yes.
always said there was nobody out there now.
Because you see, Tom
Didn't know you were
Lynch's
there.
sisters went to America.
Yeah.
They were in the Bronx.
Yeah. And she used
Kate
to always
and
write
Mary.
and send us
No, those two
Christmas
Lynch,
cards and
those
everything.
two Lynch brothers that live next door to us.
Yeah, they have no all that.
And
Nothing.
They're
they
Tom and Patty.
didn't, two boys never got married, but they had sisters in
Yeah.
America.
And Kate always kept in touch with us.
Huh?
Kate, she always kept in touch.
Yeah,
Kate
she
Lynch.
came home. I remember
Yeah.
And what were their names that lived next to you?
Patty and Tom.
Paddy and Tom were the
Paddy
boys'
and
name.
Tom.
They never
And Tom
went
used
out
to go
there.
out. Patty
I was
used to go
from
out.
the ashes.
How, when would Patty and Tom have been born? Do you know how?
I suppose
Time, I suppose.
Around, same, they're
Yeah.
around the same age as
Yeah.
same age as my husband now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the girl just come home. They came home, I think once, all I saw them.
Well, were they younger than Tom and Patty, the girls?
No, and one of them had
It
children.
was Mary,
Mary had family, didn't she?
and
I think she had two boys.
Yeah.
Mary and Kathleen. And what was the other one's name?
There was only two girls, was that all?
Kate and Mary.
Kate, yeah.
Yeah, Mary. Didn't you?
There's a lot
So
of,
they had a pair, and they,
that's where the
next doors.
horses were now that you see
So they-
next to the.
Now, did your husband build the new house himself?
uh,
Did
no, we're,
McCormick's, wasn't it?
Huh?
He got a builder in to build it, didn't he?
yeah.
McCormick's, was it that built it?
because he would have
Oh,
been
yeah.
raised
They,
in the old house.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He didn't build that, he got married. He moved
He
into that
didn't?
then, didn't he?
Build that until he got married.
No, no, until he got married.
I think she was he that built the new house, wasn't it?
Your house,
My house,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. He only moved into that when
Yeah.
he got married.
Yeah.
Father
right.
had lived down in the old house.
And
up
we
in
lived
that.
in the old,
You never lived in the old house, down the field.
well, I should don't feed the pigs.
I
in
know,
the
she
evening.
But you never lived in it.
Did you feed the pigs?
I did feed the pigs,
How many pigs did you have?
2 or 3.
Did they eat a lot?
Huh?
Did they eat a lot?
I should be down a bucket full now, twice a day.
Potatoes and things.
Oh, do you, that's on camera, on camera now.
And turkeys.
Yeah.
We used to rear turkeys and bring them to the
And
market.
turkeys and hens and,
But getting back, Father lived down in the old house until he got married, and then you moved
Yeah.
into the
That's the way it
the
was.
new house.
that's right, yeah.
Now, what can you? Do you have any recollection of the old house?
Just
Oh.
a cow house.
Yeah,
when we were-
as sheds,
Yeah.
as
Just
cows.
as a
It's
shed.
a now it's gone, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know, I was
We,
down
I
there.
remember cattle.
Oh, I remember
in it.
cattle in it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it was stone,
yeah.
Stone built.
Stone,
Yeah.
yeah. And there was a
slate
road-
roof, or
or thatch.
thatched
Thatch.
roof?
Yeah.
And how big would it have been?
Well, there was 2 bedrooms and a kitchen. And
2 bedrooms and a
Small,
kitchen.
small room, weren't there? And then there was another building along the side.
There was. Over on the side, that was
Yeah.
a shed.
Yeah, it's a cake shed that time as well.
Cake
Yeah.
Now, your husband, how many brothers and sisters would he have had? Any? How big was his family?
I think
Your
it was-
brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws, how many would you?
Well, he had one
Mary.
sister,
Mary.
Mary,
Mary did.
One sister, Mary,
and he had two stepsisters.
two
And
stepsisters,
two
Two brothers.
and
stepbrothers.
two stepbrothers.
Yeah. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
My brain isn't functioning right now.
That's okay, that's okay, we're,
Yeah,
yeah.
all the brains are working
Yeah.
together
That was a
here.
Oh,
good
the
picture,
Lynch is
Mary Lynch, she's
brilliant.
in the album. That-
Big great
that's her
folk.
album, yeah.
Yeah, he had.
So the Mary and Patrick would have been from the first marriage.
Yes, yes.
And that was,
Ellen.
Ellen.
Ellen would have
Ellen.
been their mother, yes.
now, do you know
Ellen Kay.
the name of the second wife, the second spouse, Joseph's second spouse?
She's
I
McDermott.
think she was,
She's McDermott.
Who was related to us over in
McDermott.
Kilmurray? What about the key in?
But then not she not the first woman, first
Huh?
wife. Was she not the first wife?
That's the
Kane.
first wife you're
Yeah.
talking about now.
Kane, was she not Kane?
She was key in those
First
two,
wife.
those three
So it was
sisters.
Ellen Kane
Yeah, she was the
with
first
a
wife.
K, K-A-N-E?
K-E-N-E.
K-E,
And the second wife was
Yeah.
McDermott then, wasn't she?
Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah,
so.
and she packed
Those three sisters, Keans, and they married three brothers, and my
father-in-law.
my husband was one of them.
Three
My
sisters,
husband,
married
my
three
wife was
brothers.
one of them.
Your father-in-law,
Yeah,
Yeah,
married Kane.
right. So that was Joseph Lynch married a Kane.
Huh?
Married Ellen Kane. Joseph Lynch married Ellen Kane, would that be?
Yeah.
that's right, yeah.
And then who was his second wife? Was she McDermott?
I don't know, I can't
Was she not
say.
Pat Max?
Huh?
Pat Max relation somewhere. That's
Well, there's
how.
no the Max there now.
I
No.
know, but we're saying going back.
Hmm?
When they got married, who did he marry? Was she
Brian McDermott, he married,
No, that Lynch, Joseph Lynch. Did he not marry McDermott?
His second
His
wife.
second, yeah.
he did.
I think she was McDermott.
But then how are we related to the Kanes? Do you remember when we related to Michael John Kane?
Didn't you say the first wife was
I
a
thought you
Kane?
said the first wife was
Yeah.
Ellen Kane.
Yeah. So that's how we were related
Yeah,
to Michael John
That's
Kane.
how, yeah, from that
Oh, yeah.
grandfather's first wife.
I think that Brian McDermott, he married, I don't,
Brian McDermott's sister he married then, was it?
I think he married Beezy, did he?
Easy, I think it was McDermott.
Well, I think it was
Yeah, I
McDermott.
think it was McDermott.
Yeah, but you don't have a first name.
Trust the bridge, no?
What's her first name?
But you think it was a McDermott?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was.
yeah, because that's what their second family, they're related to Pat McDermott and them, aren't they? Michael Lynch and Joey and
Yeah, but they'd be
They were
first cousins
yeah.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's something Keels that I
I'm
did.
not sure of her first name though.
What's her first name?
You can't think of her first name, the McDermott woman that Joseph Lynch married. No.
Oh,
Ellen too, was it?
There was an Emma. Where was Emma?
There was an Emma somewhere along the line.
Emma.
Yeah,
Do you remember when Michelle christened Emma?
Yeah.
Trish Lynch said
that's
that.
right. Yeah, there was an Emma
Well, how
there.
did Emma come into what she?
Yeah, but there was an Emma before in the family, remember she said
Yes.
that?
We'll have to get on to. We'll
Trish.
get on to Tricia Craxton. She's our first cousin.
Mhm.
She's Maggie Lynch's daughter. We were saying she's big into this.
Mhm.
Has Patricia contact
genealogy.
number?
Patricia has a
Patricia has,
contact
yeah.
number for her.
Well, if you could fill that in,
Yeah.
that would be helpful.
Because she has a lot of work done, I know. Because she was able to tell us
Yeah.
about this Emma,
That's
but
right,
as I
yeah.
say,
Where she fitted in
I don't know
the
where
picture.
Emma's fitted in.
Yeah.
Although, really, that would not be a direct descendant because you're a descendant from Ellen.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the
yeah. Well,
line.
yeah.
Mm.
But there's still parts missing there now.
Mhm.
Is there bits still missing?
But what would be nice to know, if these contacts that you have, is the name of Joseph's mother or father or both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patricia,
Well, I don't-
text to Mike, should I
Why
have
don't you
that?
get it in,
That would be Patrick's grandfather.
Yeah. Well, I'd say
That would be
Tricia.
your
would-
husband's
Yeah.
She has to
grandfather.
go, could you, no, there's no priest in, the priest in Castlereagh wouldn't know anything about us at all, like, we are on the Kilmurray parish. And there's no priest in Kilmurray now.
Well, I'd say
Well,
Tricia Craxton will be our
Yeah,
next.
she probably
Isn't there
has
a
that all,
place
she
in,
probably
isn't there
has
a
that
place in Castlereagh where you
information.
can, get in contact with your ancestors? Where's
It's
that
not in
place?
Castlereagh, is it?
Oh, Strokestown.
Strokestown
Or where
House,
is it?
that's
Somewhere in
it.
Castlereagh.
So there's a record, something
Yeah,
that.
there's a genealogy place
Yeah.
in Strokestown. I think.
Yeah, well,
Which would go
I've
down.
already talked to her and we're gonna go see her on Tuesday.
All right, so
Her name is, her gal's name is Mary Skelly.
Well, she probably fill in that bit there.
Mm.
Well, she has some information
Yeah.
and I just, my brain won't
Yeah.
digest it all.
You've got a
but-
lot in your.
But I will assure you all
Yeah,
that I will share everything
yeah, that'd be great.
that we get with you,
Great
and
to
you
have
can
it.
be as confused
Yes.
as I am.
Because
not be confused together.
the nature of this,
Yeah.
the nature of genealogy, as I've discovered
Confusion.
recently and that Mike has learned a long time ago, is that for every question you get answered, you raise 5 more questions
yeah.
that you
That was
can't
another
answer.
one, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
never, you never get to the end,
No,
you just
no.
make a little more progress.
But I would say if this Trisha Claxton, if she could get in contact, if he could be put together, I think
Yeah.
he could do good work.
Yeah,
I'd say to do great work.
I think he
yeah.
would.
yeah.
Where does she live?
She lives in Manchester.
Manchester, England.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's a Manchester, Iowa.
Is there?
Smaller than Manchester, England.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, you're talking to Mike and I, but just for your information, you also have cousins of the same relationship in the U.S. You have 3 that were from my uncle, Raymond Lynch. Their names are Mary Ray Costable is the oldest.
Oh, they're everywhere.
And these people come from Washington, D.C.
Let me make one stop here. Have you ever seen the program on TV Breaking Bad?
No.
It's apparently very popular in Ireland.
Yeah, it's.
And Mary Ray's son is one of the actors in that.
Yeah, he's an actor.
And he's a much nicer guy than the role he plays in that series.
But anyway, just to fill you on your other relations in the United States, Mary Ray is a lovely gal. She's a little older than I am, but she's a lovely gal. Her younger sister is a little younger than I am, is named, actually her name is Kathleen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody calls her Holly. Holly. She was born
Because?
on Christmas Day, that's why. And then she has a younger daughter, about a year younger,
Younger.
Anne. And Anne's daughter is going to be married a week from yesterday.
No, this coming Saturday.
This
the
coming
wedding you're
Saturday.
going to.
Yeah, that's when I'm gonna
He's
go
going
to.
to the wedding,
Yeah.
and we would go to the wedding too, except we're just not.
Oh, yeah.
It takes them longer to do their laundry than for me.
Anyway, so those 3 girls are all your
Oh,
cousins in the U.S.
Yeah,
Then, of course, there's, on my side, there's myself and my brother,
yeah.
who you don't need to meet my brother.
No,
He's older than, he's 79, and he lives in Des Moines, Iowa. And then there's Mike, and Mike has a brother,
In Los Angeles.
your brother's not mine.
right?
And my brother in Los Angeles has 2 daughters and a son. Both of his daughters are now married, and one of his daughters was expecting her first baby on the 3rd of October. And unfortunately, my email isn't working, so I don't know whether
Oh,
the
you
baby
don't
has
know.
arrived or
Oh.
not.
So Mike's brother, who's younger than he is, lives in Los Angeles, or
Yes, in Los
Santa
Angeles.
Santa Monica, in California. And then the last family would be my aunt, Lucille, my father's just younger sister. And their name was Holleran. And there's 2 cousins, Bob Holleran, who lives in Clinton with Mike, and Brent, who lives now in Florida, right?
Well, Brent has one house in Florida and one house in northern Wisconsin,
Yeah.
so he
And
goes
Brent
between the
is
two.
your cousin is a retired
Thoracic surgeon.
thoracic surgeon. He's a doctor.
Does heart operation, you know,
He did.
bypass
Doesn't do it
operation.
anymore,
Yeah, he's
but-
retired now.
So you have 3, 5, 7, 9. You have 9 cousins of the same relationship, or 7 in addition to Mike and I in the U.S.
Right, that's great, isn't it?
Oh, that's
No, we
something.
had.
It's amazing.
Which you didn't know about
Yeah,
until
no, didn't know
today.
anything. Yeah, we thought when Kate Lynch died in America, when she was in Kate Lynch, when she died, we thought that was it. There's no more relations. But I think Mary, Kate's sister, had boys as well.
Well,
Really, I don't
you
know
know,
if you were saying that.
So much of Irish immigration to the United States took place in the late 19th century, and even into the 20th century. I mean, Ellis Island, you know, Ellis Island opened in 1892. You know, they talk about Annie Moore,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
and
right.
whatever. But your relations, and the reason that you are not familiar with them, is that they immigrated so
Yeah,
early.
Yeah.
I mean,
No
1840
contact.
is when these people immigrated from Moscow.
It's strange, like, no one ever taught, as I said to you earlier, we
We
never
never
taught.
taught anything about
Or
war.
never, we never asked, no,
No.
we never heard anything being talked
No.
about.
Well,
You hear
the-
bits
the-
of things being
Bits,
said.
but
and
it all
then-
was whispered,
Yeah,
as if there was
yeah.
something.
Well, you know, this was the whole Irish immigration issue. I mean, it was, you know, they called them Irish wakes. When families would see their children go off to America,
Yeah.
I mean,
They knew. They
would
never see 'em
them
again.
again.
No, they wouldn't either, never see them.
They'd never see them, so it was similar to them dying.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that's what we were saying, like now with Skype and everything.
Yeah.
It's a different
It's
world.
different texts back
Yeah.
and over, like, you know,
Mhm.
they had to have to wait for a letter along with a letter.
And they'd get there and they get a letter there.
Right.
Well, and the
My
first
dad's
first
sister
generation
was
that
American,
came,
very
in
young
many
girl.
cases, could not
She
write.
never came back.
That's true.
Wouldn't she do?
They were illiterate.
Right.
She never came back.
They left.
Yeah, Sharon
Now,
would have to
I
leave
bet-
and know where they
I
were
bet,
going or
uh,
anything.
Mary Kate, I
But there
bet
was
you
many more
knew
young
a
ones
lot of
maybe at
people
home, yeah.
from your
And
childhood.
some of them spoke
Yeah.
only
Immigrant.
Irish.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you did, yeah.
Did you,
He was asking us were we good at
did you
Irish.
have
We said we
friends
learned Irish,
from
we
your
were not good
childhood
at
that
Irish.
immigrated? Or from your family?
I don't think you had.
What was
No.
that?
That was the question.
Most of used to.
I'm just asking your mom whether she had personal friends or childhood friends that immigrated.
Well, your brother immigrated to
Yeah,
Canada,
Canada.
Jim.
Huh?
Your brother immigrated to Canada, Jim.
Oh, my brother Jim, he was in Canada,
Where in Canada?
in Ontario.
Ontario.
St. Mary's, and he only died earlier
But she
this
died a
year.
couple of months ago.
And her sister went to England.
And
She
my-
was in Manchester all her life.
His wife was, she was from
I suppose.
over the west.
So this is the castle at Ballintubber, which defended all of Connaught, which was the O'Connor property. So you say we go over to the next hedge over there.
The next hedge over there, yeah.
And so this 22 acres was,
Well, to get down now, we have to go down on the other side. We have to go around the building again to get down.
okay.
So it looks like there's a drain or a,
Well, there's a drain along that ditch, what we call it the drain, huh?
yeah,
There's a drain going across that way.
yeah.
You know, when we made it bigger.
You made it bigger.
I made it bigger. And it takes all the rainwater from Tom's land and
So the purpose for this is to drain the land a little bit, make the land more farmable.
yes, but you have to have that here because of the natural flow of the water. And the natural flow of the water is from that highland up there.
Yeah.
It works its way down here.
Right, right.
So if these drains wasn't here, this would all flood.
There's flood.
Yeah, so you gotta, where they came from?
Do they understand German?
No German. Not that I know of. There again.
So how far down is the?
Just open here, cat. That type of cat.
We haven't changed.
Now we have changed a little bit. See the white one?
Yeah.
He's the stock. He's going to be the daddy of all the next year's cats. So the next year, will come back next year. All these younger ones will be white.
Would be white.
They'll be white because last year the daddy was black. It was a big black bull. I saw them in spring. Paved yard, is that, you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's paved with stone.
Right over here.
Right underneath that pile.
Yeah.
And the house was here.
And the house, is that a piece of the house?
That standing up isn't particularly a piece of the house, no.
Huh?
No. Be careful coming in here because there's rocks and there's all kinds of things.
Uh-huh.
The old house, the old wall of the house
Yeah.
was there where that tree is. See the tree? See the stone there?
Oh, yes.
That was the front wall of the house.
Now, which way did the house face?
This way.
It faced this way. So it was, that wall didn't have anything to do with it.
No, that actually come
That's-
from the yard above.
That's more recent anyway, isn't it? It
it's a
looks
block
like
wall.
it's concrete blocks.
Yeah, it's concrete blocks, yeah. So that just
So-
happened to be standing there. So what you had here was you had, as far as I could remember now, because when I came here this was pretty much as you see it now.
Yeah.
30 years ago when I arrived here, it was much the same. All that was standing 30 years ago was a shed. Another what we call, it was a cart house.
Cat house has,
Be right there.
Right there.
Now, it would have been made of stone,
Oh yes, that's the
and
material.
would have been,
There was a little house then to either side, definitely to that side,
yeah,
where they used to keep the pigs. Pig house.
pigs?
Yeah, pigs. Pigs were the main stable.
Yeah.
You know, every house had pigs.
Would it have been whitewashed like you see?
Most likely.
Most likely,
most
at
likely.
least back in the,
Oh yeah, hate the crops.
Yeah.
So most likely would have chilled all the way back and all the way up. They always kept the plot near the ground or near the house for vegetables and
right.
potatoes and that.
Right.
Now,
They
did
also would have rotated.
they rotated because the crops exhausted the soil?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The potatoes?
The potatoes, if you kept growing them in the one bit of ground, the ground would become useless
Mhm.
for potatoes.
Yeah.
So they rotate them. Basically, they put green in or grass or whatever.
Now, would this be considered good farmland or,
No,
marginal?
marginal.
Marginal.
There's a narrow little garden there
Yeah.
that V's out. And then when you go below this other field here, it's
Yep.
just one field wide.
Yeah, right.
And it gets narrow, it goes into a narrow corner. The bit down the very end we don't use at all. It's just too rough.
Right.
Okay, I'm trying to civilize it for the size of it, because that's paved, like it's all. I could clean that off to the paving. The paving is still there.
Huh. And the paving was the floor of the house? Or?
No, it was the stone that was brought in for the yard in front of the house.
Uh-huh.
You know, they had this clean. It would be a clean area in front of the house. You know, that wouldn't get muddy or
Wouldn't track in the mud.
wouldn't
yeah.
track in the mud. You know.
And so you think there would have been apple trees here?
Well, there is.
At that
Still
time?
in there. Still in there.
They're still from that
Oh
time?
yeah, from that time. Yeah.
Really?
Well, I don't know how far back they go, but it's an old apple tree. It's nearly dead now. Nearly.
Basilic Church and Cemetery. Burial ground, Lynch's.
No, I have no Irish.
No Irish blood.
No, just through my husband.
Yeah.
So Patricia, you're now on video.
I don't like Campbellford. I'm allergic to them.
Are you now? What does it do? Cause you to break out in hives?
Oh, yeah. We were on it all day yesterday.
Oh, you're used to it now, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a lot of video of your mom.